smallpox, diphtheria, tetanus, yellow fever, whooping cough, polio, and measles. All diseases that affect thousands of individuals each year. Vaccinations are the reason most Americans are safe from these diseases. According to a 2013 CDC Foundation.org study, 45% of Americans were vaccinated, helping to prevent an estimated 6.6 million illnesses. But now there is a growing movement among a segment of the population not to vaccinate children. Today, my goal is to get you to believe in vaccinations. I will achieve this in 3 main points. First, by poking into the arguments against vaccinating. Next, exploring why we are yet to see negative effects from vaccinations. And lastly, take a shot as to why people should vaccinate. First, I will begin by looking at the arguments against vaccinating. The biggest argument against vaccinating is that it causes autism. A research paper by Andrew Wakefield was submitted in 1998, but has since been debunked. Since then, there have been multiple follow-up studies. In 1999, Peltola Serger conducted a no evidence for measles, mumps, and rubella vaccines associated inflammatory bowel disease or autism in a 14-year prospective study. Anti-vaccinators like to point out the increase in diagnosis or evidence of the links of the disorder. According to a CDC Gov study in 2010, autism increased by 14.7% or every 1 in 68 children, but it has not been due to vaccinations. This has been almost completely attributed to the U.S. gaining a better understanding of autism as a spectrum disorder, so many individuals who were not considered autistic under previous guidelines are now known to be autistic. A big reason that not vaccinating has gotten so much traction is the popularity of its advocates. People such as Jenny McCarthy, Carly Machine, and Donald Trump have spoken out against it. Love him or hate him, Donald Trump is not the first, second, or even third person, for that matter, that I would go to for medical advice. If you notice, none of these spokespeople are doctors or scientists in the field of medicine. To me, that brings their credibility into serious doubt. Another argument is that vaccination actually can cause the disease it's meant to prevent. This has occurred in the past when vaccinations were made with weakened but alive form of the virus of the disease. Since then, these vaccines have been improved on so that the chance of contracting the disease is greatly reduced. The last argument that I will talk is that some people have a religious objection to certain vaccines due to the use of fetal tissue in their manufacturing process. According to the historyofvaccines.org, hepatitis A, rubella, varicella, and rabies vaccine are the only ones that use fetal tissue. Still, they recommend vaccinating against other diseases and tell that there are other versions of the vaccine that do not use fetal tissue, which is a possible option. My next point is why we haven't seen any negative effects from vaccinating. One logical reaction to my argument is that thus far, everything has seemed okay since the arguments against vaccinating began. Herd immunity proves that anti-vaccine arguments to be incorrect. According to vaccines.gov in January of 2016, when a large portion of a community is immunized against a contagious disease, there is a little opportunity for an outbreak. Even those not eligible for immunization, such as infants or those who choose not to be immunized, get some protection because of the spread of contagious disease is contained. This is what is known as herd immunity. According to the IFL Science, herd immunity is achieved when 90 to 95% of the population is immunized. Vaccines have been prevalent for so long that those not getting immunized are protected by those who do it. But if or when the non-immunized population reaches a critical number, we will be in trouble. A localized incident occurred in the summer of 2015 when a measles outbreak in California affected 115 non-immunized individuals. According to CDC.gov, people who were afflicted with measles around 2 Disneylands in California. This was due largely in part to the popularity of not vaccinating in that area. It is suspected that a foreign tourist or illegal immigrant brought the measles virus into the community, where it was then able to spread through the unvaccinated population in that area. We cannot allow the nation as a whole to lose its herd immunity, so widespread vaccination must continue. My final point will be over why we should vaccinate. According to CDC Gov, last updated February 8, 2016, there are 10 strong reasons as to why we should vaccinate. The biggest reason is that you may be at risk for a disease such as influenza and shingles that could have been prevented by vaccines. Another reason is that you may be at risk for complications from serious diseases if you have a chronic health condition or weakened immune system. Getting vaccines can reduce the chance that you get sick, which also reduces the chance of passing on the disease to others. Some people, such as pregnant women or those undergoing cancer treatments, may not be able to get certain vaccinations, so you getting vaccinated can help protect them from that risk. And in today's day and age, do we really have time to get sick? Getting vaccinations early can help prevent you from getting sick, missing what's important to you, and feeling crummy. Plus, getting the vaccination significantly lowers your risk of getting sick, bringing a peace of mind that your health is in good shape. In conclusion, I now hope that you feel we should vaccinate. As of now, we have seen little to no negative effects of vaccinations, and there is a large amount of reasons as to why we need to vaccinate. With all the different shots for all different illnesses, being sick is ultimately a choice you make. So what will you choose?